vaulting himself right now into the defensive rookie of the year conversation early on in the season with how good he's been. He's also led the fifth fewest yards in coverage of any qualifying DB this year. So he's stopping the run. He's breaking up passes. He's covering. He's doing everything you want. And the Lions also get another boost tonight. Emmanuel Mosley, one of the other corners they signed in free agency, is going to make his season debut.
Everyone wants to know your pick on our YouTube page. Hi, subscribers. Nicholas Dunn, Darius, Sean, we love you. Bear Nips, I don't know who you want to win because are you a Bears fan? I don't even know who you got in this game, buddy.
I think we see the Lions take it. I know the Packers are getting those offensive stars back from injury, but again, it's their first game back. I think the Lions have a nice rhythm going. I think they go into Lambeau and get the job done again.
We'll hear from Carmen. And there's nothing more Carmen, Vitali, and Matthew Hamilton than both of you fighting over Brian Branton, who gets to talk about it on the show. You two sick pups, you. All right, Hamilton, we got to talk about Tua. Okay, so let's get to it. And we appreciate the tweets, guys, at Up and Adam Show. I appreciate the love on YouTube. Tell your friends. We heard from Tua yesterday. I like absorb every word Tua says. Tua speaking, it's appointment viewing. I got to hear what he has to say. And we heard from him. They've got a monster matchup this week against the Bills, and he talked about how much fun he's having with this offense. As we can kind of tell out there, we can tell at the podium after the game pressers. So he's really looking forward, it sounds like, to facing Buffalo after missing last year's playoff game. And he was asked about how much the Dolphins' newfound success on the ground has helped him out. And here's what he said.
It benefits all of us. It doesn't just benefit one specific person. It benefits us in the run game when we can pass, and it does so vice versa when we can run the ball to pass it. Defenses are getting the same looks, different things happening, sometimes towards the edges, the view for the backers, the second-level guys. Guys are looking at me. Guys are having to focus on these fast guys that we have. It benefits all of us.
He's so confident. You love to see it. You love to see it. And solving the run game is something that we talked about with the Dolphins this offseason. It does seem like Mike McDaniel sort of figured it out. He's the master, right? There's a lot of talk about, man, they should bring Dalvin Cook, cute storyline, goes back home, blah, blah, blah. Oh, go get Jonathan Taylor. He's disgruntled. To get him out of Indy and bring him here. The Dolphins could be a contender if they make those moves. But healthy Mostert, I mean, and the draft choices, like, it's been more than enough for them so far. And for Tua's point, it's made this entire offense that much more dangerous. Look at these numbers, people. Obviously, very early, but the Dolphins have gone from the 25th ranked rushing offense a year ago to first so far this season. So they're actually number one in every category across the board right now. Wow. Including sacks allowed, mind you. And that's with Tua getting dropped just once so far. Like, Tua's jersey's clean. That windbreaker, that neon, I need that. It's clean. Really, he's looking good. So I had Hamilton look this up, and no team has ever finished with the number one ranked run game and the number one ranked passing game in the same season. Did you guys know that? Did you know that out there? No one's ever done it. I'm keeping my eye on this throughout the year. Everyone wants to say maybe they'll go undefeated or whatever. This is the stat I want to see. I want to see if the Miami Dolphins can make that kind of history. But they obviously got a tough test up against Buffalo this weekend. Gronk yesterday bringing up Skylar Thompson in that playoff game nobody was talking about. And Tua's bringing it up at the press conference, which you love to see, the synergy. Gronk setting the table for what the media wants to talk to the future Hall of Fame quarterback Tua Tagovailoa about. So Hamilton, in your opinion, Miami's biggest challenge this weekend with the Bills is what?
I think it's going to be the different looks that we see the Bills throw at them up front because, this is the first year Sean McDermott's calling the defensive shots in Buffalo. We heard he was going to be more aggressive when we were up at Bills camp and all throughout this offseason. But if you look at this, it's interesting because by the numbers, by the statistics, they're actually blitzing less.
Okay.
But again, it all depends how you define a blitz. It's because a lot of these are counting them bringing four guys versus five. But he's dialing up a lot of blitzes. He's just dropping guys out. So they're only rushing four, but you don't know which four are coming. So it's confusing to the offensive line. It makes the quarterback have to get rid of the ball early, and it drops guys into passing lanes. So if you try to get the ball quick because you're worried about the pressure, sometimes guys are dropping into lanes. That's what we saw happen to Sam Howell last weekend when he threw those 4 interceptions. He didn't know who was coming from where and where guys were dropping to. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Dolphins are able to handle this pressure because you saw those numbers. The Bills defense, what Sean McDermott is doing is working. Their quarterback hits per game are up. Their sacks per game are up. Their pass defense is way improved. So it's working right now for the Bills. But What a test.
Yeah.
We're really going to see what this defense is made of.
We'll see. I think Darius Butler, he loves his Dolphins. We'll see what he has to say about what their defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, can do up against what's looking like a historically strong and feisty situation. I will say, like, the Sam Howell, did you have to, like, that's kind of a short joke you just made, Hamilton. Like, he couldn't see where anybody was coming from. He couldn't, like, are we going to blame his offensive line a little bit fairly? Because we should.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it wasn't. It was not a shot at him. They were not picking things up at all. And yeah, it was more, more credit to that Bills defense.
My voice, Sam.
It's hard.
All right, another game I want to show you. Next time we do this, let's show the FanDuel Sportsbook odds. I don't know the odds for any of these games. Can we do that next time, Hamilton? Let's do that. So that's Dolphins at Bills. That's Sunday early window. I might do a little parlay this Sunday. I feel like. I haven't done one by myself. I did it with Gronk. We have one from Gronk. But before we get to that, we heard from Derek Carr for the first time since suffering a shoulder injury. And while it's seemingly been a foregone conclusion that we'd, see Jameis Winston on Sunday against the Bucs, which would be fun. It's a battle for first place in the NFC South. Derek made it seem like there's still a chance that we see him out there. What?
If I can play, I'll play. If I physically just can't play, then I can't play. But if I'm out there, that means I'm, there's no fear of re-injury. There's no fear of this. There's no fear of being able to help the football team. And so I'm going to do everything I can to be out there, but never hurt the team at the same time.
I mean, don't you know people play fantasy football and we need to know, like Derek, what are you doing? He said that if he's feeling better on Sunday, he'd be comfortable playing even if he doesn't practice at all during the week. So it seems like something of a long shot, but it's encouraging. If he doesn't play this week, it'll be good to go for the following week. And the fact that, it's even a possibility that he's speaking like this makes me feel good that he's not going to be out that long. But if he doesn't go, the Saints get a boost because Alvin Kamara is returning. Is it Kamara? He's tweeting about it. I hate when players say pronounce my last name however you want. No, tell me how to pronounce your last name. But Dennis Allen said yesterday that AK is looking great shape, ready to go. And it's a nice little matchup because he's got the Bucs defense and he has battled that baby lots of times. 11 career games for him. Tampa's kind of had his number, weirdly, on the ground in his career. He averages his third fewest rushing yards per game against the Bucs of any team he's played, but he's done well in the passing game. He scored more touchdowns against Tampa than anyone else, just under 1 per game. Saints are 8-3 against the Buccaneers when Alvin is on the field. So I think this offense takes a step in the right direction this week, regardless of who's at quarterback. All right, we've got a Thursday night football matchup, guys. NFC North, a showdown. And I got a no sweat same game parlay with my boy Gronk. Gronk picked 2 legs, I picked 2 legs, and we created a monster! All FanDuel customers get a no sweat same game parlay for Thursday night football. So basically, if you place a same game parlay on this week's game, like tonight, hours from now, go over to FanDuel Sportsbook, swipe, hit the thing. You get bonus bets back if it doesn't hit. So I like these odds. Plus 457, not bad. Laporta, 40 plus receiving. Jordan Love, 225 plus through the air. Remember, he's got Christian Watson back. He's got Aaron Jones back. So I love that. And he's done that, by the way, in 2 of the 3 games so far this season. Gronk said that the Detroit Lions money line is going to happen. And then I'm going Jordan Love 1+ passing touchdown. Christian Watson, he might score 2 tonight. All right, there you have it, guys. Go over to FanDuel Sportsbook and get that action in. We've got Keenan Allen on the show. Darius Butler's probably really happy about some guy named Dame joining his squad. Well, whatever. We're going to talk about that. He's not happy. He's not happy about that. But Carmen Vitali is going to break down Lions-Packers after this. Where do you watch games on Sunday? Or do you just have to just sit in your house?
Yeah, I have Sunday ticket. So
So you just sit there and have to. Gosh,
have,
you're so
multiple screens.
crazy. Are you mad that Hamilton? Hamilton, are you there? Are you mad about Hamilton? Are you there?
Yeah.
You two freaking
I'm here.
psychopaths. I wake up this morning, everyone on YouTube, and I'm like, why is Brian Branch in every segment? I'm like, are you guys out? Like, I love friend of the show. Love Brian Branch. But you two were like, no, Zach Wilson.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize. That's my fault.
It's okay. He's great to talk about. There's a lot to talk about.
I know, but now, Carmen, let him have it. You're the guest. You got dressed up, and he can't even come in from New York, and he took
I know, actually, that's really rude of you.
He took your player.
That's really rude of you, Hamilton. Honestly. You can't even bother to show up and face me in person.
So everyone loves Sam Laporta. We don't talk about we haven't talked about Gibbs much on our show.
Yeah. I have to think that they're gonna unload him tonight.
You think?
They have David Montgomery as he's back, so I feel like they can use Jameer very creatively if they want to, because they know that they have David Montgomery.
This Laporta thing, Gronk literally was like, he just has the instinct.
He does.
To be like a Hall of Famer. So we're second round steal.
Totally. But also, they just replaced one Iowa tight end with the other. One Iowa tight end.
I said it yesterday. These Iowa tight ends are crazy.
They know. They're combo tight ends.
That actually really quick. Richard, that should have gone out on Twitter too, though. Shout out to the Iowa tight ends.
Yeah.
Can we do that, please?
I think
from yesterday. Let me tell you something about these NFL players. They think they can get away with everything. They can just date celebrities, and they can walk in New York Fashion Week, and they can, I don't know, just not get caught doing all the things that they do. Logan Ryan, for instance, one of these guys, 2-time Super Bowl champ, doting father, wonderful husband, great analyst, does so much for animals. You think you were going to get away with some of the good stuff that you're doing out there? I don't think so. 2-time Super Bowl champion Logan Ryan, you think you were just going to get away with RARF giving away 1,300 dog training scholarships, and all you do with inclusivity and all you do with animal welfare and all you do and have done with your wife Ashley for 8 years now?
I know, you must have caught on. Yeah, this is something we've been doing since last year with Good Pup, and something that, starting an animal foundation like I have and promoting adoption and animal rescue, I think is huge. But one thing I've noticed, I've been running this foundation for 6-7 years now, is pet retention and how to keep those animals in the home, so people aren't returning those dogs back to the shelter. So we offered free scholarships for free training, pay for dog training once you adopt your pet.
And it focuses this initiative on diversity too. Can you talk about that and diversity in animal welfare programs?
I didn't realize that there was few men in animal welfare and even fewer minorities and Black men in animal welfare, or minorities in general. So obviously I became somewhat of a face of diversity in the space. I didn't ask to be, but I understood what it meant to be. And we have some systemic issues in this country where people can't afford, the best veterinary care. People can't afford dog food. There's other hardships going out there, and I understand that. So we try to do as much as we can, especially in those communities, but we also try to offer grants and actually do paid jobs where people go work for animal shelters and become vets, and we actually pay for it so people could have the opportunity in the space, give them a fair shot.
It's so beautiful. And I remember talking to you about it on Good Morning Football. You've always been your passion for this has not waned. Some people just have things that they do. You are so invested in this. It's so nice to hear. And it wasn't just then that you were raising money. You guys have the Showdown, which is happening Monday, October 2nd. There's food. There'll be wine. It's a tasting event, and all benefits RARF. Levante David, I heard a rumor, is going to be there.
Yep. Titus O'Neil, a WWE wrestler. We have Ali Corey, who is an Emmy award-winning news anchor. And then we just also have Restaurant Impossible himself, Chef Robert Irvine, will be there. I hate boring charity events. I've gone to a lot of them being an NFL player. So I try to throw a party and just call it a charity event. And all the proceeds will go to RARF.
Well, we love everything that you're doing with your organization, it's a family affair. It represents it's not just about your love of animals. It's obviously about inclusivity. And we think it's so amazing that Up and Adams is going to donate $1,000 to Ryan and the Rescue Foundation.
Shout out to Up and Adams. I appreciate you, Kay. You guys, you've been supporting me personally for a long time, and a lot of people will feature and have us talk about it. And we all love animals, but you're putting your money where your mouth is. So that means more. So I appreciate that. You're on top.
Right. Everybody else better follow me with those $100,000 donations.
Rarf has always been so important to him. It's nice to see players find passions outside of the game that they latch onto and really pour into, and that is what Logan Ryan does. We love him, so we're so happy. We're going to do this every week. If you see a cause out there, and by the way, here's the QR code. You can still grab tickets for Rarf's event on Monday. It sounds like a party. Levante Davis. Sounds like a good time. So if you love dogs, and of course you do, and cats and everything fluffy and cute, or if you're out of the area, you can go to just this, I don't know how this works. You put your QR code, this baby, and you can donate to Rarf today. I can't say it; it's so hard to say. But we love him. And if you have if you see like a fan or a fan base or a coach or whatever, and you see like a cause that we can feature, we'd love to donate $1,000 to the cause. We're doing it once a week, all season long, thanks to FanDuel. Okay, now I cannot think of a better guest to talk about Thursday night's matchup between the Packers and the Lions. Also, she loves Levante David, she loves the Buccaneers, and you love Logan Ryan and puppies.
I do. I love all of them. I have a rescue dog now too, so it's wonderful.
I love that, and we have you here. You are doing your thing over at Fox Sports, covering the NFC North. You really cover everything, but let's just really zero in. You're the perfect guest, truly. Prepare to get smart, everybody. Get a little smarter here on a Thursday. Big matchup, Lions, Packers. Hi.
I'm so glad to see you.
Good to see you. You dressed up for the occasion. I did not. Okay, Packers, both teams are 2-1. They're both looking good. It's a battle for first place. I heard the thing that intrigues me most about this game is the youngsters, the young contributors. So if you look at the Lions, I mean, Gronk was talking about this tight end a lot.
Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
It just, plug in one Iowa tight end for the other. Because it clearly works. He's a combo tight end, but he's also just killing the game in receiving yards, and he's breaking all types of rookie records for tight ends, and he has it. I think Gronk said that too. He's just got it.
Do we have the full screen of the guys, the young contributors?
The young contributors.
Can we see him? There we go.
Yeah, look at that.
Pick a guy and let me know about it.
Brian Branch is just the Swiss Army knife that everybody thought he was going to be, which is amazing. And then you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who I don't think we've seen unlock his full potential yet within this offense.
Go on, tell me about that.
Listen, Ben Johnson is an incredibly creative play caller, and we haven't seen that out of him, but also David Montgomery has been hurt. Guess what? They're getting David Montgomery back tonight. So now he can kind of handle those north-south run duties and be the lead back on this offense, and you can just use Jahmyr Gibbs in a whole lot of fun ways, and I think they're going to bring that out against the division rivals.
I was very excited about it in the preseason, and I haven't talked about it much on the show since then. And now Laporta's gaining steam, so this seems to be a primetime Gibbs game.
Yes, and I think it's going to be. I think that Ben Johnson has some tricks up his sleeve yet, and I think we're going to see them tonight.
I can't wait to see that. Now, and speaking of young contributors, cue the full screen. Packers! What do we want to talk about here?
Oh, my God. All three of them is incredible. And what's even crazier is that Jaden Reed, the rookie, leads the team in receiving yards right now, even more than Romeo Doubs. But the team is getting Christian Watson back. He's that deep threat. He's really fast, go down the field, kind of that big play potential. You have Romeo Doubs to kind of clean up all the yards along with Jaden Reed. And then Luke Musgrave just leaking out and getting wide open all the time and going down the field, being able to catch these passes from Jordan Love. This team is growing up with their quarterback. And I think that's so fun.
It's huge. And it's probably a little less, not like a little less pressure, but it's nice because like everybody bears the same weight of responsibility as a team. I think that's a big deal. I think like Schneidman from Athletic talked about that a lot in the offseason.
It's interesting too because you look back to last year when Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson came in and Aaron Rodgers didn't play the preseason. Jordan Love did. So the first NFL passes these guys are catching was from Jordan Love.
Yeah.
They have been connected since the jump, and Romeo Doubs worked out, and Christian Watson for that matter, both of them went to California to work out with Jordan Love this offseason, and you can see that rapport building, and this has been the Packers' MO forever.
People are down on Jordan Love, but he's got Christian Watson. Christian Watson making his debut tonight. I mean, like,
who's down on Jordan Love?
I don't know, just like some of the numbers. Like
his completion percentage needs to get better, but I think that's where you're seeing him need to grow, and the fact that he doesn't have the relationship necessarily with these receivers in real time at NFL game speed yet. But I think that's going to go up. But he's incredibly efficient. I mean, I know they got down 17 points last game to the Saints.
They came back.
But look at that! Look at how they came back.
Derek Carr left the game and went to the hospital, but they came back.
Jordan Love.
It takes some poise.
Jordan Love has no panic. Yeah. And that's the most important part.
We love like a We love this in a
Even
quarterback.
keel.
So me and Gronk have a parlay. It's
Ooh,
4
fun.
legs. It's great odds, though.
Wow.
It's no sweat. So it's a no sweat, but if you guys want to do this. He took the Lions money line. He thinks they're going to win this game. Who do you have? Because you're talking me into both of them. Who do you got tonight?
I'm talking myself into both of them. Are you kidding? I don't know. I mean, it's at home, it's in Lambeau, and that just adds a whole other level to this. We saw that last week against the Saints where, I mean, this crowd does not give up on this team, regardless. So I just think it's going, and they have everything to play for, the Packers do. I guess I'm talking myself into the Packers. Because if you go back to that Week 18 game where the Lions knocked them out of the playoffs.
This is Carmen versus Hamilton.
I know.
Hamilton picks the other squad.
I know. I could see it go either way, though.
No, you pick the Packers.
I'm going to pick the Packers.
I'm
going to go against, you know what, Hamilton can't even be bothered to come on set when I'm here,
Hamilton?
so
Are you there, Hammer?
I'm going to go against him too. Yeah.
Where's Hammer?
We're going to go. There he is.
He's catching all the heat today.
I'll take the Packers. Prime time, baby. Lambeau. There's nothing like Lambeau Field.
I mean, Hamilton used to work for the Lions, so he's got favoritism. He's not a true
love the
journo.
Lions,
You're a
too.
Fox Sports journalist.com, and Hamilton is just pandering.
No, I do think, though, that the Packers this defense needs to start living up to its talent, and I think that we've started to see that. They came alive in that fourth quarter to kind of stop
100%.
The Saints from gaining any more yards. Granted, that was with Jameis Winston, but at the same time, I think that they're going to have a really good plan for the Lions.
I want to talk about something sad.
I know exactly where you're going with this, and we can talk about it.
I mean, Chicago hates me.
Chicago hates me too.
They hate me.
They hate me. Because I was being realistic. I didn't want to get people's hopes
up. But now everyone's being pretty quiet. Ooh, girl, everyone's being pretty quiet.
Where's my, I was right. Where's my credit right now?
Because we have faith. We want them to be good. We want,
do.
But you just don't see it coming together. So they're 0-3. And then there's drama. Peter King, the great Peter King, when he speaks, we listen. He went on 670 to score. Shout out to them. I'm sure they've said really nice things about me and the Bears in the past. And they've and he went and said that he doesn't think Ryan Poles is committed to Justin Fields forever. Now, I get it. Ryan Poles inherited Fields as a GM.
Yeah.
The talent is there. We know the talent is there. We know the upside is there. Do you think it's possible we actually see them move on from Fields?
I think it's the path of least resistance is for the Bears to move on from Justin Fields. And I think that this is something that Ryan Poles has been preparing for. So the Bears have never had alignment between their GM, their head coach, and their quarterback. I don't know the last time that happened. I don't think it's happened in my lifetime. And that matters because you have to get guys that your brass and your decision makers believe in. And I think that this year was kind of all right, we'll see if he can improve. We'll see if he can take command of this offense. We haven't seen that happen. There was a reason that Ryan Poles went and got that extra first-round pick when he traded down from the #1 overall pick to 9.
I like him.
It was, I think he was preparing for this exact scenario where even if the Bears improve and they finish somewhere middle of the pack, that they have the ammo to go up and get Caleb Williams, Drake May, whoever fits this system better. And I think that that's what we're going to end up seeing because even if you bring in a new offensive coordinator that maybe fits Fields' skill set, you're going to put him in his 3rd offense in his 4th season? It just doesn't seem like that's an easy task to do. I think the easiest thing for the Chicago Bears to do is after this season is to move on from Justin Fields and bring in a guy that makes more sense.
Path of least resistance. Go
Path
for
of
it.
least resistance.
Okay, well, this week could be, listen, I of course, last week was like, the Bears could, come and win this game against the Chiefs.
I think everybody had that.
I had this, thing, and then, of course, I was like, no, once I saw T. Swift up there, I was like, nope, not happening. But listen, T. Swift is not going to the Broncos game.
No.
Broncos, Vance Joseph can't get it together. He just can't. They're really not great.
No.
They just gave up 70 to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
What are you keeping your eye on in this game with the Bears?
It's got to be the trenches. Because at this point, the Bears pass rush has been...
We love a trench
We
queen!
love it! If you know anything about me, I always look towards the offensive and defensive lines because I think everything starts and ends there. And the Bears pass rush has been completely anemic. And they haven't been able to affect opposing quarterbacks at all. And I think that's the only way to really get, Russell Wilson has seen everything. So you need to get creative against him. You need to try and confuse him. I would love to see more stunts, more just creativity and getting pressure from different places because you don't have the guys up front if you're the Chicago Bears. And the only thing is, though, Matt Eberflus came out and he's now calling the defense now that their defensive coordinator is no longer there. He said that they're going to continue to rush 4 and try to get pressure that way. And I'm like, that works if you have the dudes. They don't have the dudes. I want to see safety blitzes. I want to see nickel corners coming in on trying to confuse opposing quarterbacks, because that's what you need to do if you don't have the guys that can win outright up front. And that's not something that the Bears have. So unless they can get to Russell Wilson, I think that they're going to find themselves in a hole. And that's going to be hard to come out of.
Low-key a Sean Payton revenge game. He was a quarterback for these Chicago Bears once upon a time. He's an Illinois guy. We'll see what he can do, because it's a wrap on the Broncos.
Desperation for both teams.
It truly is. We're so optimistic here on the Up and Adam show with Carmen and Vitali.
I'm just trying to be real.
I mean, so if my Bears go 0-for here and they lose to this hapless defense, which is crazy. I think Broncos defense, like Pat Surtain, like what are we doing?
I know.
Is it like a situation where I don't know enough about college football, but like it's Caleb or bust, right? So like, do they put themselves in a position to pack it in?
You can't do that week 4. Week 5. This is way too early. And honestly, Matt Eberflus has said that he thinks the Bears are close. They can win some games and they're close. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I don't know that he has the buy-in of everybody in Chicagoland, but at the same time, you have to stay competitive as much as possible, and you have to be able to push for any sort of incremental improvement. And I don't think that you can't just outright tank. You don't see that in the NFL, especially this early in the season. Kay, we've got 13 more weeks.
Okay, but the worst thing, and I said this before the season started, I said the worst thing that could happen is that if Chicago loses to Jordan Love, like that Aaron finally leaves, and you had that other joker before him for all those years, and then you have Aaron, and now like you have the talent, you have the kid who can do it all, and surround him, and then I'm sitting here going into week 4, and I do underreactions on the show on Wednesday, and Jordan Love's like great, like everyone needs to realize how great he is. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, like most of this without Christian Watson and David Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones. So it's becoming very apparent the Packers don't restart at quarterback; they reload, right? What do the Packers get right? This is like therapy at this point.
I know.
What do the Packers get right that the Bears just can't seem to figure out? Tell me.
Oh, no. Actually, I have an article coming out on Fox Sports today detailing exactly what the Packers do, and it's something that they've done since the days of Vince Lombardi. They've been operating this way since the 60s, and you look at Brett Favre in his 4th season, I believe, Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's brother, suffers a career-ending neck injury. And then the next season, Brett Favre has to get it done with a rookie Antonio Freeman and Robert Brooks, who was a relative unknown at that point. Robert Brooks goes off that year. Antonio Freeman leads the league in receiving yards 2 years later. Favre ups his game, and the rest is history. And then you get to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had guys like Jordy Nelson, and he upped his game early on in his career. And then they tried to get Aaron Rodgers to do it again with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, but we all saw how that went last year. So now they were operating kind of as a different team. They were operating that was an exception last year, and that's why I think that the Packers wanted to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Hot take. They weren't getting to run their system like they usually do, and so now you have the full buy-in of Matt LaFleur, which I think is so impressive because he came in with Aaron Rodgers having so much control, and now he's seeing the potential that this has when you have young receivers that can grow with your quarterback, and you also have a play caller in Matt LaFleur who is actively trying to help Jordan Love. He's got a great offensive line in front of him. He's got a backfield he can lean on. He's got a defense that he should be able to lean on. They have been doing this since the 60s. So this is something that the Packers have so much practice in, and it's not something they have changed since the Lombardi years, because apparently when you get to the Packers, you're given the speech, you're given the Lombardi way, and if it was good enough for Vince Lombardi, who are you to change it?
Get out of here.
I'm just...
Get the hell out
I
of
grew up
the
a Bears
studio.
fan too, Kay. Listen, I don't want to hear this.
Did any of that make me that doesn't make me feel any better? That was like an entire 3-minute soliloquy about how great the Packers are.
I know.
And then, you know what also I'll say? I feel bad for any grief that I ever gave Jay Cutler when he was quarterback. All of this, we all hated him, and we all made the memes, and we thought he was so terrible, and his demeanor, and he was demonstrative. Best freaking quarterback we had. Yeah. We didn't know how good we had it when we had Jay Cutler throwing a Brandon Marshall out there. And Matt Forte doing his thing.
I know.
What were we? We all owe Jay Cutler of Inside the NFL wearing those fancy ass suits on that set on the CW.
We love you, Jay.
We love you, Jay. Jay, we're sorry. Jay, we are sorry for how we treated you, even though he stood me up on the show. And speaking of that,
that's right. I know that.
That seems to be a trend because I don't know. This is for a fact. Is Keenan curving knee again.
What?
Okay, they're saying he's 2 minutes away.
Okay.
Keenan, don't keep. Keenan. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Vikings. Okay. By the way, Hamilton's texting me that we've ruined his credibility.
Ouch.
We're so sorry, Hamlin.
We're so sorry. Not sorry.
So here's the deal. Kirk coming off this like hotsy-totsy offseason.
Yeah, I know.
I came back from Italy and I was like, why is Kirk Cousins like everywhere? What world did I come back to? And he's killing it. Yeah, he's killing it. He's killing it on Netflix, the quarterback show. Obviously, like that showed a different side of him. He's also killing it this year. His numbers are good. He looks like all right. He's got Addison. He's got Justin. Why are they struggling? What's the story?
It's turnovers. That's what it is. I mean, you see them putting up so much offense. I think last week, Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins led the league in passing yards, in quarterback yards. And that game was only 28-24. No one wanted to win that game. I was in Minnesota for that game. It's the Vikings shooting themselves in the foot, which I can't think is going to keep up either. And I think that this defense is taking a little while to kind of get its sea legs. Brian Flores is running a drastically different system than the Vikings had last year. So I just think that it takes a little bit more time. It puts a lot on the players themselves to understand exactly what they're seeing and kind of know what the guy next to them is doing. Jordan Hicks and Harrison Smith are kind of leading the way on that. And I think that it will eventually kick back in. Yeah. But I think you're just seeing that the regression to the mean, that's what this means. The Vikings coming back, off of that 13-4 season.
But what if they lose to the 0-3 Panthers? and they go 0-4?
That's when alarm bells start going off.
Gronk is like, ship that Cousins out to the Jets. What do you think? That's your coworker over at Fox.
Yeah. Rob, listen. I don't think that that's the answer because Kirk Cousins, he has had some turnover issues early in the season, but again, I keep saying this, it can't keep up. And if it does, though, I think that diminishes his value. But I also think that the Vikings aren't in a position to that would be tanking. They can't tank this early. And I do think that they're getting tangibly better every week. And as soon as they can get rid of the penalties and the turnovers, then this is going to be a team that is still competitive. And I don't think that you get rid of Kirk when that's the case.
Carmen, on your way out, and by the way, go to Fox Sports, guys, and check out everything that Carmen Vitali does, and she covers the NFC North so beautifully and well and brilliantly. I'm going to put you on the spot. The best press food setup in the NFC North is what?
Ooh.
The best hospitality.
It's the Vikings.
The Vikings?
Yeah, it's
really?
the Vikings.
It's a beautiful stadium.
It's a gorgeous stadium. They have the fake snow.
Chicago can't even win that.
Look
at that. All right, wave to Keenan Allen. Keenan's joining our show after this well. Coming off an 18-catch, 215-yard performance, he decides to come out of the hyperbaric chamber and join the show. Keenan, smile. Oh. Is this a SAT or a VO? Am I good? All right, we got a very special guest for you with those moves. He was in some kind of mood, I'm sure, coming off a record-setting weekend. Let's get into it with Chargers receiver Keenan Allen, who decided, I'm not going to go on your show. I'm going to get a lifting tomorrow, and I love you for that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me.
Keenan, are we joking? 18 catches? 18 catches, 250 yards. You taught me something when I saw you in August. GG.
GG's.
GG. Good game.
That's it. That's all you gotta say. It's GG's.
Do you know which two other players had 18 or more catches and 200-plus yards in a game besides you ever?
Yeah.
Who?
Brandon Marshall. And I forgot his name.
Tio.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I
since,
didn't forget
that's
his
since
name.
19.
I thought it was one more.
No, just you. You're the other one, okay? And by the way, none of them threw for a touchdown pass, and we'll get to that in a second. Did you wake up knowing you were going to get all that love?
No.
How did it
Not at
happen?
all. I mean, once we got into the game plan, Kellen just kind of was like, hey, if they want to make it, this option game kind of, and, just keep on giving us signals at the line of scrimmage. And I just happened to be in the right spots at the right time, to be honest with you.
Oh, I thought maybe you made Justin Herbert a brisket or
Nah.
took him like golfing out there somewhere in Orange County, no?
No.
You guys just got it
I
done.
haven't golfed this year.
At all? Uh-oh. But I don't know.
No.
You don't need to. You're somehow getting the rock.
Locked in. Been locked in.
Walk us through this touchdown pass, okay? What were you thinking when this play got called in the huddle?
As soon as it got called, I was like, yeah, it's time to go. And as the play is going on, I'm coming in motion. I'm getting the ball, and I'm seeing these guys come wide open. I'm like, please don't mess this up, my guy. I already messed it up once, so I can't mess it up again.
You did one in 2020 and one in 2021, and I think that did not work out. So with this one, you weren't nervous at all?
I was definitely nervous. That's what I'm saying. Only thing I was thinking about is don't mess this up.
And then it worked out, and it's amazing. Okay, well, we loved it. We loved all of that. And it was a really nice game. It's always a heartbreaker. It's always like an up and down situation sometimes watching these games. But then Mike Williams goes down. So you're getting the rock. You're doing all this stuff. And then your boy. And I know that the team is going to miss him tremendously. But how big of a loss is that for you personally?
Yeah, that's my guy. You've seen the energy we had at training camp.
Mm-hmm.
We always laughing, telling jokes, stuff like that. So, just not having him around, the energy's going to be a little down. But, the young guys are ready to come up, make plays. And obviously Josh Palmer, he's been the number one, for several weeks last year. So I think he's ready to go too.
When I talked to you about the rookie, Quentin Johnston, at training camp a couple months ago, super athletic, he's got potential. Who is he now? How has he grown since then to now? What makes you think he's ready for this opportunity and just really the responsibility?
Yeah, I think just as a human being, when your back's up against the wall and it's time to go, and obviously we just lost Mike Williams, so he's at a point to where it's one of those things where you got to come in and it's time to make some noise. So I think just having that pressure, it allows you to kind of settle in a little bit. It allows you to play your game, and just go back to your roots and understand how you got here, and just try to go be that person.
I picked Justin Herbert as my MVP this year, and that casual 400-yard game last week definitely helps, and it looks great. So I hope you and Johnston, I hope you and Johnston can get it done. I mean, you were such a big part of all of those yards. Justin Herbert, is he still breaking down those huddles like you told me? What makes 2023 Herbert unique outside of being healthy?
Yeah, so as you've seen it, he's checking at the line of scrimmage, coming up with more ideas to give us the same stuff, but in different ways. We played that same defense in, I think it was 2020 or 2019, something like that, and it didn't go that way. He just wasn't there yet. He wasn't able to see those things. He wasn't able to be as confident as he is now. And now you just see the confidence. You see how smart he is, how much he's developed, and we got a guy who can lead us in the right direction.
I had a couple guys on the Giants, and I had Daniel Jones on, and they told me that he has no hobbies. He doesn't play Xbox with them. He doesn't play Madden with them. What does Justin Herbert do to sort of hang out with y'all?
We just kind of kick it. You know what I'm saying? With me, we play golf a lot. But obviously he had the little surgery, so he couldn't play golf this off season. So, it really wasn't a lot of hanging out unless we were up here, playing football. He's a football guy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now, in this game last week, less than 2 minutes to go, 4-point lead. You guys go for it on 4th and 1. I know you're hearing all about this. You're on your own 24. It doesn't work out. The defense did come up with a stop, though, to win the game. What did you think of the call?
At the time, we all wanted to go for it. We always in the huddle saying the same thing. Let's just go quarterback sneak. Let's let Justin get us up out of here. And obviously he had the situation where he couldn't really go quarterback sneak because they had the gaps all covered up. And we went with the belly. So at the end of the day, we want to live with the ball in our hands and try to put the game out right there. So
yeah, Keenan. Some people are saying a lot of people are saying that Brandon Staley is not it. What do you say?
Mm-hmm. This is my coach. Like, this is somebody that leads us every day. So we have all the confidence in the world in him. Everything that he tells us, that's what we rocking with. So
I love that. Now, AFC West Division Rivalry Week, we love it. You versus Marcus Peters, which I love too. I'm sure you've thought about this matchup a little bit. What makes facing him fun for you?
He's a dog. He's a guy who loves to play football. He's gonna talk junk. We're going to go at it, 4 quarters, and it's going to be fun.
What gets you going more? Like, what gets you more hype? Is it facing facing Marcus Peters out there and you guys have some history, like he's a dog, like you're saying? Or is it facing, like, a stud wide receiver on the other side of the ball? Because you had Justin Jefferson, you went off. Devontae Adams, one of the best, he's out there. What gets you hype more?
Definitely the DB. Yeah, definitely the DB, just because it's going to be fun. The tone is going to be set early. We're going to be talking junk from the first series, so, that's definitely going to be fun.
I know you had your moments with Deion Sanders. Got to ask you before we let you out. I mean, there's the California part of this, of course, USC. USC or Colorado?
I like Caleb Williams more than I like the Colorado team, but obviously Deion got some, the culture's rocking with Deion, so I'm Colorado and I'm USC. I don't know. I like Caleb Williams' game. I like Store's game too. So, without Travis Hunter, I think it's going to be tough for him.
Okay. Before we go, we got the Raiders this week. You love to sing. Can you just sing me a little something about this? On your way out, just give me a little something. Sing about the matchup.
I can't do it. The young boys is literally staring at me right now.
Who is?
All the young boys is just looking at me.
Hey, young Quentin Johnston. Quentin, come over here, Quentin. Can I meet him? Quentin, get over here.
Meet you, bro.
Quentin Johnston! 6'4", he won't even fit in the frame. He's too scared?
No, he's walking over. He's right here.
Hey, Quentin, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing?
It's nice to meet you. Listen, I've heard a lot about you. Keenan's a wild child, but he's amazing. You let him get 18 grabs last week. How many are you going to get this week against the Raiders?
Well, him or me?
You.
As much as possible.
As much as possible. All right. Well, hopefully Justin Herbert feeds well. Apparently, you got to get, make a brisket or something for your quarterback or take him golfing. That's what you got to do to get the ball as much as Keenan does. Keenan, you're killing it this year. You're the #1 fantasy football wide receiver. You're the #1 receiver. Like Devontae Adams, this weekend. Okay?
You're not.
All right. You're the best. I can't hear you. GG. That's all I hear. Bye, Keenan. We'll be back after this, guys. We've got Darius Butler hopping by. He's going to talk Dolphins. He's going to talk Bills after this. We've got more. We're going to talk about, oh, there he is. What is he wearing? Let's see. Rose Bowl game. Sorry about the heat, buddy. music's on. All right, time for You Up. Let's hit you with some sleepers for week 4. We got season long going on. We got daily fantasy over at FanDuel. So let's start at quarterback with Brock Purdy. Going up against the Cardinals defense, they've allowed the 6th most points to quarterbacks this year, guys. How about Khalil Herbert? Been a slow start. If there's a week he's going to break out, is this one against this Broncos run defense that's been getting pretty lit up. And then at receiver, okay, we're going to stay with that game. And we're going to go with Courtland Sutton against the Bears defense. He's getting volume, which you love to see, especially in daily fantasy. He's a nice little option. And he's ranked 37th on Fantasy Pros despite 2 finishes inside the top 25 already. So if you're looking for daily value, Courtland Sutton, who we talked to in Denver, they're trying to bounce back there. You heard Carmen, desperation mode for this. So here you guys go, some sleepers for week 4.
New chapter in the rivalry.
You treat me like the enemy.
Gone, beautiful throw.
Treat me like the enemy.
Touchdown, Green Bay.
Treat me like the enemy.
Have a day, boy.
Treat me like the enemy. Try to bring me down, this is kerosene.
Big Thursday night football game in Green Bay tonight. We'll get to that coming up, but big things happening a little bit south, like 100 and something miles in Milwaukee. The Brewers clinching the division, blockbuster NBA trade with the Bucks, and that's why we bring in our guy Darius Butler. Listen, I don't know the NBA like you do, but I heard all summer Dame going to be traded to the Heat. What happened?
Man, fans are upset down here right now. Our hearts are broken. I thought it was Miami or nothing. That's what Dame told us. The Heat couldn't get it done. We didn't get it done. I think we were on Durant short list. We were on Bradley Beal's short list at one point. We were on Donovan Mitchell. We didn't get any of them done. But we know Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, we're going to roll out a championship contending team with Jimmy Butler every year, Bam as well. So we'll be all right. But right now, you know, Messi's not playing.
Oh, no.
Our Dolphins are rolling, though. It's football season,
say,
so that's all that matters
Dolphins
right
just
now.
put
up 70.
You can't have Messi and a 70-point Dolphin team. You just can't. You can't. The universe will not allow it. The Dolphins, one of your favorite teams, they're killing it. So many total yards of offense, like 1,600. I don't know what that really means in perspective. So let's, Mike McDaniel doing his thing. Now, Sean McDermott, he's the DC for this Bill squad. Big game, division game. What does he have to do, and how can he stop this team?
I mean, obviously, Dolphins undefeated right now, sitting on top of the AFC East. But, that Patriots game, I felt like the Patriots made them kind of go the long, hard way. They're also dominant on the ground right now with Mostert and I-Chan, not I-Chain. Got that update a couple of days ago to say his name correctly. But, we got it going both ways, in the air, on the ground. What the Bills got to do is just try to make them go the long, hard way. The Patriots did almost like a 3-safety shell to kind of eliminate Tyreek Hill from having the big plays. We'll get Jalen Waddle back after putting 70 points up on the board. So it's going to be tough. It's easier said than done for sure. But the Bills, after that first week, obviously it was lackluster against the Jets. But since then, they've been on point. They've been rolling. Actually, 3-point favorites at home against the red-hot Dolphins right now. So I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, I mean, because Josh Allen, that week 1 was miserable, and the sky was fun, but then they kind of turned it around, right? So Josh Allen, they're looking okay. Anything that this Dolphins defense needs to do specifically in trying to stifle them?
Well, you got to slow down Stephon Diggs. And, they got a running game going, too. Surprisingly, running game, Cook had a good game last week on the ground. And if the Bills can do that, if Josh Allen can be in play action under the center and actually hand the ball off and not be the team's leading rusher as well, that makes it much tougher for the defense. But Xavier Howard, I expect to see him matched up on Stephon Diggs a bunch. Gabe Davis, he's healthy. He's making big plays as well this year. So they got weapons all around on offense, but it starts with the top dog, and that's Stephon Diggs. And we got a top dog as well with Xavier Howard. So I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup. And that's what the Dolphins, I think, will have to do. Slow Stephon Diggs down first. I think we got a decent chance of getting a win. Another win. Another one. Let's talk about your Super Bowl pick. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar, they looked impressive. Then they struggled against the Colts. They're taking on what is the #1 defense in the league in Cleveland, which is crazy. Myles Garrett, Gronk's pick for Defensive Player of the Year. What do they need to adjust from last week to beat this team? I mean, they're banged up, and they were my pick coming into the year, but they are banged up offensively, defensively. So a lot of, some of the weapons that we expected Lamar to have coming into the year, Odell's banged up, Bateman's banged up now, defensively, offensive line. So they got to get healthy more than anything. But I think Lamar is playing good football. Colts, I know they're playing a tough Browns defense, the best defense in the league right now, but that Colts defense aren't any slouches either. They play their tails off and balling all year long. But Lamar just got to, keep that offense going, keep the pass game going, opening up down the field. But it's hard to do that when all those guys I mentioned are banged up. But that's what you're going to need to do against this Browns defense, because Deshaun Watson's playing some football as well without Nick Chubb in the backfield for the rest of the year.
Let's talk. Stay in the AFC, and this Jets thing. Like, the wheels came off right away. I just mentioned that Bills Jets game to kick it off. Obviously, Aaron goes down. They've got him, Zach Wilson. Now we're hearing that defense is like, we're good. Go do something. When it comes to Zach Wilson, the Jets should.
I mean, you look at the options, you always look at your quarterback and then you look at, hey, what else could we do? Who else is available? Who else can play right now? And the options are not great outside of that building. You drafted Zach Wilson 2 overall. He does have some ability. As coaches and the talent around it, you got to get more out of him. And that's tough because it's on Zach, too. It's on him to know the coverages, to get the ball out, to have confidence. And frankly, just to not stink when you have a defense like that. And up to this point, he stunk. So Nathaniel Hackett, the quarterback's coach, and obviously Zach Wilson, more importantly, he's got to fix it and turn it around sooner than later.
All right, we got a big one tonight. Lions, Packers. Who you got?
Go with the Lions. As Foxy would say, the brand new Lions. I'm going with the Lions. They're physical up front. I love what Jared Goff is doing at quarterback. I love what they're doing on defense as well. They're a tough team. The Packers team, I like them a lot, too. I like Jordan Love. He's wise beyond his years. You can tell that time that he spent behind Aaron Rodgers served him well. Matt LaFleur is doing a great job with him. And their defense is playing well. Hopefully they get some guys back playing tonight. But I'm going with the Lions in a close one.
We love it. Eric wants to shout out your hat. He loves it. Deion's going to get a win against USC?
Ooh, it's going to be tough. Travis Hunter plays. If he plays,
all right,
I like him to make it close. But if not, I think Caleb will edge him out.
Check out Darius Butler on the Man to Man podcast and win a parlay with him, which he seemingly does every week over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Check him out on ESPN's NFL Matchup. We love you. Talk to you next week.